and welcome to Experience Acquia Online. My name is Tom Bianchi and I'll be your host and compare for today's Experience Acquia. Hosting events is of course not my day job. I'm responsible for marketing here at Acquia for Europe, and one of the things that I love about my job is that we actually get to use our own products. Our website is built on Drupal 9 and hosted in Acquia Cloud Platform. It also has Site Studio, and so even a non-skilled marketer like me can go and build, edit pages. We also use personalization to swap out key pieces of content based on who is viewing the site. All of the forms on the site are built with Campaign Studio, which we of course use as our main marketing automation tool. If any of you watching have questions about how we use our own products here at Acquia, please feel free to reach out to me directly and I can share our story. Today I'm also thrilled to be talking to you from our brand new UK studio. What do you think? I love it. Here at Acquia we're going to continue bringing you virtual events and great content with exciting stories and thought-provoking insight from our customers, partners, and also guest speakers. We also hope that as individual countries start to open up, we'll be able to bring you local, in-person experiences too, which I just can't wait to get back to. Stick around to the end to find out how you can get the event swag box with free goodies sent directly to you. Right then, let's get this show started. As the world moves forward, we're going to be looking ahead with post-pandemic optimism to help you to continue to wow your customers with beautiful digital experiences and help your business thrive and grow. Let me give you a sneak peek of some of the speakers we're going to be hearing from today. First up, Steve Williamson, General Manager of Europe here at Acquia, on some market trends. Jock Virgil, Head of Web Development for Saïd Business School, University of Oxford, on how they're creating the next generation student digital experience. Our own Eric Fullerton, Lead Product Evangelist here at Acquia, on our latest product innovations. Then Georgie Barrett, Gadget Show host and tech journalist, on the future of consumer behavior and Gen Z expectations for digital experiences. What an exciting agenda we've got ahead. Just before we get started, some housekeeping points for you. Here in the Hop-In event platform, please be sure to check out our partners in the virtual exhibition area by clicking on that option in the menu on the left-hand side. A big thank you to all of our partners for your support of this Experience Acquia Online. There's also a chat function for you to ask any questions, and we have some Acquians logged into the platform to help get those questions answered straight away. If we don't answer your question right away, don't panic, we'll be sure to follow up with you afterwards. Now it's time to get things started. Our first speaker is Steve Williamson, General Manager of Europe here at Acquia, who's going to give us a quick update on some market trends and a perspective on the future of digital experiences. Over to you, Steve.
Welcome to Experience Acquia Online. I'm so excited to be here in our UK virtual studio to give you a quick update on all things Acquia before we hear from some of our wonderful guests in just a few moments. More to come, but first let me tell you a little about what we here at Acquia are seeing in the market today. We all know that the pandemic has changed our lives in any number of ways, but rather unusually, I'm not going to be focusing on that today. I want to focus on the thing that we should all be focusing on, and that's our customers and our consumers. Digital experiences are at the heart of our lives now more than ever. And the best digital experiences are the ones that we don't notice, the ones we gain immediate value from, and the ones that are seamless and straightforward. The best digital experiences are personalized, informative, data-driven, and actually help us achieve our end goal. We as consumers want to interact with brands that delight us and brands that provide a value exchange. What do we get in return for buying something from a brand? How do brands create a value exchange that is meaningful? It should, of course, be beautifully designed digital experience. Think about the cliched examples of Peloton, Apple, and Uber. But what's the real key to those experiences? Well, my opinion is that the key to those experiences is a true value exchange must take place. You have to give your customer something in return for them participating in your digital experience. And hopefully, they'll recognize that the value exchange and repay you in the form of trust. With trust, they will also be willing to provide first-party data. What is first-party data? It's personal information consensually provided by the consumer to the brand. It's your location, purchasing habits, browsing history, health and biometric data, and the list goes on. Here at Acquia, we conducted a piece of research in the UK where we asked 1,000 consumers and 100 marketeers their opinion on Apple's recent iOS 14.5 privacy change, the ability for the user to block the use of their personal data by applications installed on their device. This data is used by application developers to personalize the app and also used to target and track in-app advertising. Not surprisingly, 63% of consumers surveyed thought that this was a great idea, as they've become ever more savvy about how technology uses their personal data. What did surprise us at first was that 81% of marketeers said that this was a good or somewhat good idea. We, perhaps naively, assumed that marketeers would be against this sort of change, as so many brands today rely on this type of technology to drive top-of-funnel visitors to their digital experience, primarily through advertising. Perhaps, though, they haven't yet made this connection between tighter privacy controls and driving traffic towards their brand. Perhaps they haven't created a digital experience with the purpose of delighting the consumer with a true exchange of value yet. The end consumer of your brand's product or service comes in all forms. In a few minutes, you're going to hear from Saïd Business School at the University of Oxford on how they've revolutionized their student digital experience. They've challenged the norm, without giving too much away, have seen some amazing results from the new hybrid learning experience that they've created. But that experience builds trust between the university and the student has shared first-party data in return for that value. Our new Marketing Cloud product family that was launched last year is designed to help you use the first-party data you've already acquired from your customers, and working hand in hand with our well-established Drupal cloud products, the Acquia Marketing Cloud can help you build a world-class personalized digital experience for your customers, ultimately helping your top-line revenue grow. So that's a little bit about what I'm seeing in the market today and what we see our most successful customers doing. The question I would leave you with is this simple one. How can you create a true value exchange with your customers through your website and broader digital experience? We're here to help you with that. You don't need to answer the question by yourself. If you'd like to find out more, then please do not hesitate to reach out to us for a conversation. Okay, coming up over the next hour is an exciting set of stories. We've got an Acquia customer perspective. You'll hear about our latest product innovations. You'll hear from one of our technical specialists on how to realize value from your technology. And you're going to also hear from a technologist on the future of consumer behavior, and of course, from our digital agency partners. I want to say thank you to all our sponsoring partners of this event series. Without them, we wouldn't be bringing this broadcast to you today. And they are Coherence, Cyberduck, and EPAM. And thank you to our charity sponsor and Acquia customer WaterAid. WaterAid is the leading UK charity working tirelessly to provide millions of people around the world with clean water, decent toilets, and good hygiene. They're enabling entire communities to unlock their potential, break free from poverty, and change their lives for good. You can find out more about their great work on our sponsor zone. And I would ask that in lieu of transport costs for attending this event, I would encourage all of you as attendees to donate to this worthy cause using the Just Giving page. And without further ado, I'll pass it back to Tom to take you to the next agenda item. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Some great insight there. As a marketer myself, data is my best friend, and moving to a first-party data strategy is certainly a wise move. I'm really pleased to be able to introduce an Acquia customer for you all to meet. Jotveer Gill is Head of Web Development and Digital Learning at the Saïd Business School, part of the world-renowned University of Oxford. Welcome, Jotveer.
Thank you, Tom. It's a pleasure to be here.
So great to have you here today. So maybe you can start off by telling us a little bit about Saïd Business School.
Sure. So Saïd Business School is recognized as one of the top 10 business schools in the world. We offer a diverse range of programs, including undergraduate, MBA, and executive MBA programs, as well as master's, doctoral, and a raft of executive education courses. This year, we celebrated our 25th anniversary of being a vibrant, innovative, progressive business school embedded in a world-class institution, the University of Oxford. And our goal over the years, Tom, has remained the same, which is to positively transform individuals, businesses, and ultimately society through our programs, our projects, and through our research. And it's an incredible privilege to be part of an organization which has such a great vision and tremendous impact.
So, the past 13 months has clearly been an interesting time for all of us, but maybe could you share a little bit about the journey that you've been on at Saïd Business School?
So we've had an incredible journey. It's inspiring that Saïd Business School as a business has not only been able to respond to the challenges of the pandemic, but also we've continued to deliver world-class teaching and respond to world-scale challenges. And having IT applications that are resilient and scalable have definitely been central to transitioning our events and our teaching online. I think this is something we've done really well.
Fantastic. So you're obviously technology focused, and from an IT perspective, what have been the key ingredients that you've looked for over this time?
So many of the challenges that we see today are long-term in nature and require systematic solutions. They require having a microscope, a telescope, and a crystal ball at the same time. And my colleagues at Saïd Business School often hear me say that it's like our Chief Information Officer, Mark Bramwell, had all three when he future-proofed our IT strategy well ahead of the pandemic. And this is nothing I can take credit for, but some of the things that he implemented when he first started but had much benefit and value to this day included several strategies. One, he made sure that all our applications and systems were cohesive from a technical perspective. Second, he transitioned much of our on-site infrastructure application servers to the cloud where possible, and enables software as a service for high availability, scalability, security, and resilience. And third, he strengthened our strategic partnerships, partners like Acquia, who support, manage, maintain, and secure our Drupal estate, our business critical websites that support student acquisition and also student teaching forums. So when it came to lockdown, from an IT applications perspective, from a strategic partners perspective, I feel that we were in a good position, and it was less about identifying issues or gaps in our provision, but more about identifying how can we work with our partners for wider benefit realization. So let me give you an example. So in May last year, we held our online event, which is Go to Climate Action Summit. And this saw former Vice President Al Gore speak to our MBA students about the climate crisis and also sustainability revolution. And to deliver this event required, our AV team to support, facilitate hundreds of students via Zoom from many different countries. It also required our web development team to work very closely with Acquia to manage, maintain, monitor, and scale our website for the huge amount of traffic that was going to be, streaming this content online. And the event was a great success, definitely because of the content and the contributors, but also because we had reliable applications, we had talented teams and strategic partners to help support us. And I think this is the key ingredient for much of our success.
I love that story. So bringing this back to kind of the COVID timeline of events, what were your key milestones when it came to digitizing teaching, for example?
So the pre-COVID academic year started with Saïd Business School inviting our new classes to Oxford. We had a full calendar of events and a huge number of applications. It wasn't until late February, early March that we understood the full gravity of the public health issues impact that we were dealing with. And as a result, immediately transitioned our teaching online and closed down our sites. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we had, Tom, was to ensure, the question was, how do we transition the Oxford teaching, world-class Oxford teaching approach models into a asynchronous format, and asynchronous being students learning in their own time at their own pace online, as opposed to face-to-face teaching. And this was a challenge, but fast forward 12 months later, what we achieved was incredible. We digitized over 100 programs, EMBA, MBA, diploma programs, and brought them online. We developed over 500 videos to support teaching, and we also enrich our virtual learning environment with the innovative tools and technologies to support the student learning outcomes. So this was a great success, and we had fantastic feedback from colleagues, students, and faculty. But I also want to share, Tom, that Side Business School is not new to virtual education. I mean, if we rewind to 4 years back, we were the first to implement the Oxford Hive, which stands for the Oxford Hub for International Virtual Education. And what this is, Tom, is a room of the future based at Park End Street, where members of the teaching team can, through a high definition virtual wall, engage with up to 84 students and now even more online, so connecting with people from all over the world for a immersive learning experience. And this is powered by the innovative MashMe platform and was developed in partnership with SyncRTC. But this application just really highlights how innovative we were in the teaching space. We were the first in the UK to deploy this application, and the second in the world. And it goes to show that Side Business School, just like its community, its alumni, its students, is constantly innovating and leading the way.
That's fantastic. And I think the things that stood out for me there, Jobvir, was not only how innovative the Hive is, but you talked about the sheer number of courses. I mean, that's phenomenal to take 100 courses and digitize them in such a short space of time. So well done.
Thank you.
So fantastic to hear about all of those changes that you made during the pandemic year, but let's look ahead to the future. What's next?
So Side Business School and many in the higher education sector are now reviewing and looking at hybrid teaching methods. And Tom, hybrid teaching is where a proportion of the students attend in-class teaching sessions on site and are joined virtually by the rest online for a simultaneous teaching session. And the benefits of this is that it's helpful for when students are unable to attend because of self-isolation or because they might be restricted due to being in a different country. And to deliver this approach requires having key AV and digital learning components, applications working as one ecosystem to support those virtually attending to be part of that classroom experience. And right now, Side Business School is working very hard to kit out our lecture rooms, our lecture theatres, our classrooms to be technology rich with these applications and components. Some of the essential tools needing to deliver this include a video conferencing system where students online can log in and be present on screen, a panoramic camera for those online to experience the classroom environment, multi-directional mics, multi-directional ceiling mics to help pick up classroom sound and interactions easily, a tracking camera to follow the teacher, and a digital whiteboard with a tablet which could transmit slides, discussions to those online. So I think the ultimate challenge is how we connect and create cohesion with those online and those on site to support the learning experience. And Tom, this is more of a pedagogical challenge rather than a technological one, which we are investing in.
Yeah, I mean, a big change, but how exciting is this for the future? I mean, this kind of setup is just fantastic. So moving from a great new virtual classroom environment and the Hive that you talked about previously, these are both futuristic projects that are here today, but what does the next 3 to 5 years hold for education?
So I feel that because of the pandemic, our society in general, a large proportion of it has been, become more familiar with tools and technologies like Zoom and Teams. We've become socially conditioned to use applications which we previously weren't using. And I think this will impact how, the educational space as well, because it will become more technology rich. We'll possibly see more providers, more suppliers innovating and entering this market, and perhaps even Acquia. So in the future, I think we're going to see more flipped classroom approaches, which is great from an interactive perspective, in enhancing student interactivity and learning outcomes as well. And flipped classroom is a model of teaching, Tom, where some of the students, well, all of the students would learn at home online. They will get all their reading lists, their lectures, and complete those, and the class environment on site would be used for engaging with one another, peer-to-peer learning, which would help support and improve collective learning outcomes. So there's more to hear in this space. But I think, just like we have been showcasing throughout the pandemic, I feel Side Business School will be able to continue to adapt and innovate, working with strategic partners and our technology stack to respond to world challenges and deliver world-class teaching.
That's just brilliant. Thank you, Georgie. And it's clear that Side Business School are innovating the way forward here for other schools and universities around the world. But more than anything, I just wanted to say at this point, thanks so much for being an Acquia customer, and thanks for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you, Tom.
So that comes to the end of our time here with Georgie, but I wanted to say a very special thank you, and I hope you enjoyed hearing about how Side Business School is changing the way that we learn in the future. Thank you. Our products are constantly evolving and always stretching the boundaries of what's possible. Today, I'm delighted to introduce Eric Fullerton, Lead Product Evangelist for Acquia, who knows our products inside and out, to talk to us about the latest and greatest innovations of both our Drupal Cloud and Marketing Cloud product families. Eric, take it away.
Hello, my name is Eric Fullerton. I'm the lead product evangelist at Acquia, and I'd like to start by saying it is great to be speaking with you all again. It has been far too long. Now I'm going to take the next couple of minutes to go over some updates to Acquia's portfolio and positioning, because a lot has happened since we last spoke. Now there are dozens of things that I could discuss today, but I want to key in on some highlights that I think will be the most impactful and most important to you. Last year, Acquia relaunched our open digital experience platform. After a year of 3 acquisitions in 2019, and then a year focused on integrations and enhancements in 2020, we've done some work on how we organize our product portfolio. But first, I want to talk about digital experience briefly, as it's critical to our thinking behind this updated approach. Now, while the term digital experience can seem all-encompassing, confusing, amorphous, we tried to simplify it by honing in on what we believe to be the 2 key components of digital experience. First, the content, the how you engage online with your prospects and customers. Content is the heart of the digital experience. Creating compelling content to meet your customers' needs remains mission critical for organizations today. Second is data, the how you understand your prospects and your customers. Now, if content is the heart of digital experience, then data is the brain, helping us learn how consumers engage with us so we can optimize the experience with better insights. And this is how we've structured our product portfolio. Acquia's OpenDXP focuses on solving the content and data challenges with respective clouds, focused on each of them with these packaged solutions that provide businesses the capabilities to create, manage, and optimize digital experiences at scale. Now, Drupal Cloud helps you create content online easily with low-code tools, to launch new sites and digital applications quickly, and to manage digital experiences at scale more efficiently. Marketing Cloud with CDP at the core helps our customers gain insight into behavior, use machine learning capabilities to automate and predict next best actions, and then deliver personalized experiences to end users on any channel or modality. First, let's talk about some innovation in Drupal Cloud. When we think about Drupal Cloud, it's really all about managing complexity and helping you go faster. There are 2 key updates that I'm going to talk about today that I think are particularly important. One of the most exciting announcements that's happened over the last year is the release of Drupal 9. Despite everything that happened in the world, Drupal 9 was released on time, and it is awesome. It's jam-packed with features, and we can proudly say at Acquia that it's the best CMS in the world. And Acquia was once again the #1 contributor to Drupal 9. At Acquia, we are committed to getting as many people as possible onto Drupal 9 as quickly and as easily as possible. Now, that is why we launched Acquia Migrate. It is the only tool available for accelerating the migration of Drupal 7 to Drupal 9. And customers are reporting an acceleration of their migration by up to 80%. Acquia Migrate automates as much as possible the migration of your content, configuration, and community code. And for the things we can't automate, we provide guidance to help you complete your migration. Acquia Migrate provides a UI to give you a visual way to migrate all your sites. We provide a dedicated Acquia Cloud environment so that you can work on your migration and keep your production site up and running simultaneously. The migration dashboard allows you to import or roll back migrations and really gives you an overview of your content migration progress so far. You can also preview data before it's migrated, both the raw before and after values, as well as have a rendered preview to check for any content issues like broken images. Now, there is so much more to share about Acquia Migrate, but to summarize, Acquia Migrate helps with all stages of migration: analysis and planning, DevOps, data, business logic, and presentation to help customers migrate from Drupal 7 to Drupal 9 up to 80% faster. It is one of the most valuable new products we've developed in our portfolio and something that everyone on Drupal 7 should consider. Next, let's talk about low code. With Drupal, customers already have the enterprise functionality, the scalability, and the flexibility that Drupal provides. So our focus is really around making it easier to create and publish content at scale. And we believe that low-code and no-code tools are the future of digital content creation. And that is where Acquia Site Studio comes into play. It is our answer to the ease of use problem. It's a low-code site builder that sits on top of Drupal to enable marketers and designers to create and update pages. Now, Acquia is the only company among the Gartner DXP leaders that offer a low-code solution to make it easier for non-technical users to create content. Now, rather than talk about how great Site Studio is, I'd rather show you. Now, I mentioned that Site Studio makes it really easy for non-technical users like myself to create pages and to update content. Now, I'm actually going to make an update to a page that I created all by myself and published a little while back. So when I log into Site Studio, I'm already in my account, and all I have to do is just search for the page I created, and it's the Aquea's the #1 CDP for retail page. Once I find it, I can scroll down to see all the different elements on the page that I've already created. What our web team has done is create these reusable components so that when we want to add new content or create entire pages from scratch, we can do so here. There's headers, there's featured content sections, and there's even railroads and accordions that we can simply and easily add, no code required. Now I'm going to scroll down to this one content feature I've already created. You can see I've already entered the title and the text, and I've also I can adjust the theme here. I could pick a different color. I could adjust the layout, but all I really want to do is change an image. Because while this image is kind of cool, it doesn't really depict the benefit of what having a total 360 view can help you do, which is target your users more effectively. So I've uploaded a new image already that I like a lot more. I can search for it, select it, and then replace it quickly and easily. I don't want to play around with any colors right now. I think I'm just going to go ahead and publish it. And when I can look at my preview screen, I can scroll down, bam. I like that image much more. I think it really suits the section, and I'm feeling pretty good about the page. What's amazing here is that whether I wanted to change an image, color, text, add new content, or even build an entire page, I could do all that work myself and then send it off to the web team for approval or to make recommendations on how to make the page look better. That's Site Studio in a nutshell. Now, you just saw me quickly and easily make an update to a page I created, and that is great. Honestly, I didn't think it could get any easier, but we always want to improve our products and make them better. That's why we released a new visual builder in Site Studio to make it easier and more what you see is what you get. Marketers and content creators can now see in real time what changes that they're making to the pages as they happen. It'll make it even easier for marketers and non-technical folks to create new content in pages, to make updates to pages like you just saw me do in that demo. This will help free up developer resources so they can focus on more innovative and profit-driving activities like integrations, creating immersive digital experiences, and delivering to emerging channels. Now, let's shift to Marketing Cloud. While many of you are familiar with Drupal Cloud and maybe you use these products every day, Marketing Cloud is a combination of some new products and some updated products, and it's picking up a lot of steam. So first, I just want to level set on what solutions are actually in our Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud is a collection of 5 products: Acquia Personalization, Acquia Campaign Studio, Acquia Campaign Factory, Acquia DAM, and of course, Aqueous Cdp, our customer data platform. Now, our customer data platform is the core of our marketing cloud. It helps bring together data from different systems like CRM, web, point of sale, e-commerce, and really is going to provide those unified user profiles from multiple different locations and systems. Next, it dedupes and cleanses these profiles. It adds machine learning to help gain insights on customer behavior and preferences, and provides predictions on things like preferred channel or your optimal time of engagement. Our CDP also offers a multi-tenant architecture. Now, this is purpose-built, so organizations who really need to focus and maintain data sovereignty in order to meet these data privacy and protection regulations are going to be able to do so much more effectively with our multi-tenant approach. Now, when you have good data at the core, as a customer, you can then use the activation tools like Campaign Studio, Campaign Factory for multi-channel marketing, or use Acquia Personalization for website personalization. Now, I'm going to show you some of the ways we're making it even smarter and more efficient, and most importantly, easier to use. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Aqueous Cdp because I think it's really important, and honestly, Aqueous Cdp is a best-in-class solution. With over 15 years of experience in the CDP space, Aqueous Cdp manages 1 billion customer profiles. It processes 25 billion events and calculates 1 billion machine learning predictions every single day. Our customers include Lululemon, Godiva, Lids, Clarks, and many more. And they report tremendous ROI by embracing this first-party data strategy backed by a CDP. On average, our customers report a 150% increase in return on ad spend, a 300% increase in customer lifetime value, and a 20% increase in overall digital business revenue. Now, as part of our goal to make our marketing products even easier to use, we've recently updated our CDP user interface to make it more marketer friendly so that our customers can access these powerful insights that sit in CDP much more easily. But of course, we didn't just stop at CDP. We updated all of the UIs for all of the Marketing Cloud products with a refreshed and modern user experience. Now, this is going to help increase the time to value for new users, increase the adoption across your organization, and really importantly, allow you to extract more value from the platform. Now, one of the most undervalued aspects and benefits of a CDP is the actual access to critical data and reporting across the organization. Now, rather than have data and reporting that is siloed in specific tools, or maybe access is only available to specific teams, Aqueous CDP democratizes data across your business to increase efficiency. You get reports on things like overall business performance, products, customer database health, customer lifecycle, customer value, transaction behavior, engagement, demographics, and even more. And now they're all accessible to everyone, making it easier and more efficient for the marketers on your team to run impactful campaigns. Now, this access drastically decreases the time to market. Our customers report time to market savings across the board, but one quick example is the time to execute an email campaign. One of our customers using Aqueous CDP decreased the time to launch an email campaign from 3 weeks to 30 minutes, thanks to Aqueous CDP. But of course, it's not just about CDP. Activating this data across multiple channels is critical to customers, and that's where Acquia Campaign Studio, Campaign Factory, and Personalization come into play. We've been hyper-focused on integrating these products, and I'm excited to share that we are delivering a unified experience within Marketing Cloud, in addition to the data integration we've already worked on. Now, customers can easily toggle between Acquia CDP, Acquia Personalization, Acquia Campaign Studio, and Acquia Campaign Factory, helping them gain greater efficiencies when they're using multiple Acquia Marketing Cloud products and more easily navigate from one capability to the other. Today, you're looking to build the best digital experiences for your customers. And at Acquia, we are hyper-focused on making the best digital experience for our customers with updates like these to our Marketing Cloud. Now, the one last thing I want to mention is that at Acquia, we use all of the products I discussed here today. We migrated our entire website to Drupal 9, and we have non-technical team members like me and the rest of the product marketing team creating and updating web pages using Site Studio. We create and deliver multi-channel campaigns to our prospects and to you, our customers, using Acquia Campaign Studio. We personalized the web experience based on geography, buyer type, and favorite product using Acquia personalization. And now we use Aqueous Cdp to gain deeper insights into customers and to use that data to run more targeted, more effective marketing campaigns. At Acquia, we've been talking about personalization for a long time, but now with the power of Aqueous Cdp, we can go well beyond anonymized personalization to create deep, meaningful connections. And this is the future of digital experience that we want for our customers. The ability to create content more easily, to launch digital experiences faster, to manage digital experiences more efficiently, to gain insights into customer behavior and action that data to any channel, to deliver personalized experiences that actually feel like they're personalized, and most importantly, convert like they are personalized. But for Acquia, the core of our value has always been our open approach. Now, while we believe that our DXP should be at the core of composing all of your digital experiences, our solutions are purpose-built to integrate with other solutions, so you can maximize your existing investments to deliver the best customer experiences possible to any and every channel. Now, as you can tell, there are a lot of amazing things happening at Acquia, including many things I wasn't able to cover in just this quick update. And as always, there is lots more to come. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this update today, and hopefully I'll see you all in person very soon.
Thank you, Eric. I can't wait for the unified UI in Marketing Cloud you mentioned. So exciting. To keep up to date with all our product innovations, you can of course find out more at acquia.com. Keep checking back regularly as we're always updating our products. Our next speaker is one that many gadget fans might already know. A well-published tech journalist and of course host of the Gadget Show here in the UK, Georgie Barrett. Georgie is a self-acclaimed tech geek and gadget aficionado. Today, Georgie's going to talk to us about the future predictions on consumer behaviour and how digital experiences might change. She'll also, of course, share some examples of the tech she's had first-hand experience with as part of her hosting duties on the Gadget Show. She'll also take a look at some of the trends going on in our digital world today. Without further ado, let's hear from Georgie.
Why, hello everyone, my name is Georgie Barrett. I'm a tech journalist and TV presenter, and it is such a pleasure to be joining you for the Acquia's 2021 Experience Festival. Now, today I'm going to be speaking about some future tech trends and how they might impact consumer behaviour, because I've got a bit of a confession to make. I think I'm a bit of a tech geek. I think it came from growing up with two brothers. One of them used to always make me read his Zelda instruction manual to help him get to the next level. And the other one was constantly rebuilding computers. Meanwhile, I was the one who was obsessed with gadgets. So tech has always been a common language in our household growing up. On top of that, I've got a second confession to make, and that is I'm one of those darn millennials. Yes, I grew up on a diet of MSN, AOL, email, Game Boys. So I like to think of myself as a bit of a tech native. And I think it was these two different things that led me to want to become a tech journalist. So that is what I do now. 4 years ago, I joined Channel 5's The Gadget Show, which is a TV show here in the UK. And it is brilliant fun to film. Not only do I get to go on nights out with Craig Charles, which is a story for another time, let me tell you. I also get to travel the world testing out the latest in consumer tech. So you are, in fact, looking at someone with a world record. Yes, I'm the person that has been in VR the longest, playing just one game for over 26 hours straight. I've also driven a super tank, ridden an electric surfboard, I've raced an Olympian on a flyboard, you name it, I've done it. Now, in my written work, I'm often exploring how technology is shaping us both culturally and socially, writing for the likes of The Guardian, The Mirror and Marie Claire. And I tell you what, I have my work cut out. We are living in extraordinary times. We, only need to look at the past year to see that technology has been that central cog that has kept our economy turning. We found new ways of working, communicating, spending our downtime. In fact, the owner of Intel, way back in 1965, predicted that the power of computers will double every 2 years, while the cost will go down. And here we are in 2021, and we're pretty much just about keeping up with that exponential curve. So in my day-to-day work, I get to interact with the people and technologies that are on the cutting edge of it. And that's what I want to share with you today. Some of the technologies that I've come across as a journalist and presenter on the Gadget Show that I think will really impact the way we shop and live in the future. Now, I know your job is all about delivering brilliant digital experiences to your customers. So I hope that some of the things that I'll touch upon today will just spark some big picture thinking of how these technologies will advance over the next few years. To borrow the phrase of the very famous futurologist William Gibson, the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. So hopefully I'll give you some glimpses as to what the next generation of tech will bring when it comes to Gen Z consumers. So I want to start by showing you this little clip that I took on my phone, and it's a clip of me being driven by an autonomous vehicle through Las Vegas streets. Now, as you can see, there is absolutely no one behind the driver's wheel, and we are driving down a main road. Buses were pulling out, pedestrians were crossing the road, we had to adhere to traffic lights. I mean, it was a proper road. Now, when I first got in that car, it felt really unnatural. In all honesty, I was actually quite nervous. I was having to do this piece, the Gadget Show, and I could really feel my adrenaline pumping. And afterwards, and I mean, it really didn't take that long. I mean, I was in the car for less than 30 minutes. I got very used to it. So no one was sat behind the passenger seat, but actually, it turns out that AI is a very, very good driver. I felt pretty relaxed. I actually felt a lot more relaxed sitting in that car than if I was doing the driving myself, having to sort of navigate through an area that I'd never been to before. Very quickly, it went from me being in disbelief and flabbergasted by the whole experience to it feeling all quite ordinary. It felt like I was being driven around by a normal, safe driver. And the reason I'm telling you this is that this experience, I think, very nicely sums up to me just how quickly we can adapt to new technologies. If AI does a job, and it does it better than what we would do, we will very, very quickly put our trust in it. For example, we are already putting our trust in AI in the battle against COVID. I was reading only a couple of weeks ago that an algorithm has just been developed that can now create vaccine candidates within seconds to fight any of the COVID mutations that we're seeing. So like a process that used to take months or even years is now reduced down to less than a minute. So what has all this got to do with e-commerce? Well, this same pattern of trusting AI because it is doing a job better than what we would will transfer over to our shopping habits. AI is going to become our new shopping companion, and it's going to be able to do this in many different forms. So let's start by speaking about conversational interfaces. Now, conversational interfaces use a piece of AI called natural language processing, and they take usually the form of digital assistants and chatbots, two tech trends that we've seen grow enormously recently. And as more and more people use these voice assistants like Alexa and Siri, so the data sets grow, so they become better, so this sort of virtual circle begins to pick up speed. Now, the next iteration of these voice assistants is that they'll be able to understand long, complex conversations and actually debate moral arguments. And this tech is already out there. IBM have actually been working on something called Project Debater since 2012. And last year, they put up Project Debater against the world champion debater, so a normal human debater, where it had to argue on the spot with a very adept human speaker. Now, it didn't actually win, but it did come very close, and it just shows how it won't be long until you'll be able to have a meaningful conversation with your AI. For example, you could be asking your Alexa in the future whether you should dump your boyfriend, hire someone, or apply for that course. And in the specific case of shopping, we'll be able to recommend products or brands much in the same way an influencer does. And during these conversations, your Alexa would not only be able to draw on all the vast information of the internet, but it'll also know you intimately. You know, your likes, your dislikes, your previous shopping habits, what you've been looking at on social. So all your personal data will be woven into that answer it forms for you and the recommendations it gives. And then there are the chatbots. Now, a recent survey found that 70% of consumers would rather use a message-based interface when it comes to engaging with a company over an email or phone call. And there's some really interesting use cases out there that are using chatbots beyond just offering a service or support. So the first one I want to speak about is the Replica Chat Bot. Now, this is a chatbot that is predominantly aimed at teenagers. And the idea is that it turns into your friend. What it does is the AI actually learns the way you talk over message, and then it replicates that. So it hopes to help teenagers who are maybe sort of experiencing anxiety or who can just sort of offload without any judgment. Now, imagine as a brand, you could use this level of customization. You could echo the language that your customer uses. You know, AI will be able to understand how to engage with them emotionally so that you know, it can deal with that complaint with, you know, compassion, or maybe inject a feeling into celebration as they confirm a purchase. This here is another example of a different kind of chatbot that is actually a chatbot that offers career advice. So it's been developed by IBM Watson, and after inputting all your details, it alerts people to things like internal job opportunities, training courses that could fill in any sort of CV blanks that you might have, and also gives career advice, including if people should be asking for a pay rise, you know, based on their level of expertise and maybe what other people in the company are being paid. Now, this particular chatbot, I think, is a good example of how these pieces of AI will help make decisions on all areas of our lives. You know, whether that is suggestions on how we could best maybe save money in our personal finances, to who we should get insurance with, to maybe getting advice when it comes to actually styling an outfit or finding that perfect birthday present recommendation. And all this advice is going to be highly personalised to our taste and preferences, because our personal data will be shaping all of it. You know, our shopping personal assistants will be able to analyse our daily habits, what time we wake up, how much we like to work out, what questions we're Googling, and then suggest the products accordingly. The widespread adoption in recent years of wearable fitness and sleep trackers such as your Fitbit or the Apple Watch, combined with the increased presence of the Internet of Things and things like healthcare and in exercise equipment, have made self-tracking accessible to a large segment of the population. We are now living what I like to call in the era of the quantified self, where you can go out and you can track your steps, you can track your sleep, your nutrition, you know, I mean, even down to how many times you've played a particular song over the course of a decade. Now, as a brand, I think it's really interesting to think how you might take that data that you have on your customers and then present it back to them, so it actually adds value or offers something that the service that you didn't have before. I mean, a great example of this is Peloton and how they've used live data of people's heart rates to gamify the whole at-home spin experience. And this is just the beginning of what wearables will be able to deliver. How might wearables read our hormone levels? Whether we've just had a rush of dopamine, what our blood sugar levels are doing. Maybe it will be able to suggest what we should buy from the supermarket based on whether we've had a workout that day or our long-term fitness goals. I'm really fascinated by how we can optimize our working week, especially as many of us are now finding ourselves working remotely. You know, we have a lot more autonomy over our time. If we get wearables and AI and we get them to offer insight into, you know, how we get into that flow state, how we should relax, when should we go on social media, then I think this presents a really interesting opportunity for brands, because brands will start to know the optimal time to engage with the customers, really taking this level of personalization to the next level. And then there's personalization of content. Now, I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen Bandersnatch, which was the 2018 Black Mirror episode where you could actually change the ending. So how it worked is that at certain points during the episode, the action pauses and then an option comes up on screen and you just decide which way the character should go. Well, the next iteration of these interactive videos will see people watch content on their phones that will be personalised to them without the action ever stopping. So maybe the content will reflect the current location you're in, or if you've consented to the front camera being used, the AI actually reads your facial expressions and either, turns up the scare factor or makes it funnier based on your personal tastes. Maybe you could even use gestures or actually point at certain things on screen, which then changes the direction of the story. Now, all of this suggests that we'll be seeing a lot more of this non-linear storytelling. People just won't be passively sitting there watching something on the screen. Instead, they'll be engaging and actually tailoring their content to their needs. In fact, already you can watch videos online whereby something like the poster that the actor walks past changes depending on your browsing history, just like you'd find a personalised ad on a website. Now, this level of personalisation may change the way we traditionally search for things as well. Instead of just looking up a particular brand or item, maybe AI will offer up different experiences based on our facial expressions or how we've actually decided we want to spend our time. This here is a screenshot taken from a recruitment company called Workshape. Now, these guys don't use job ads or CVs. Instead, candidates input how they want to spend their time and then it generates this little shape. From there, that then matches them up with their dream job. It's not such a stretch to see how in the future we might organise our downtime and also our diaries like this by inputting broadly how we want to spend our time and then letting AI organise those details. So let me now just take a step back from AI because I also do want to briefly touch upon some of the other technologies that are out there and have the potential to really change the consumer experience. So these here are some stills taken from the Chinese supermarket Hema. And this is a really great example of how blockchain could be implemented to create a value system that is an alternative to traditional currency. So how it works is that you scan any item in the supermarket with your phone and it will then give you the entire journey of that product from farm to store. So you'd be able to see details like, how old the animal was when it was killed, if you're buying meat, or even things of the temperature of the truck that was being transported in. Now, blockchain is the technology that's being used here that just enables this really fine-tuned detail to be embedded into what is an incredibly complicated supply chain. Consumers never used to have access to stuff like this, and by arming them with this information, they can make informed decisions when it comes to buying products. Just imagine if every single product you ever bought could be scanned and then it would reveal, let's say, its carbon footprint. Customers then could create real change by holding companies and products up to scrutiny and voting with how they spend their money. And then there's the final tech trend, which is mixed reality. So this is made up of augmented reality, where you actually overlay a digital image on the real world, and then virtual reality, where you're just completely enclosed in a computer-generated space. Now, after a year of Zoom calls and not being able to see loved ones, I think VR is an incredible tool that can really bridge the distance between people and give the sense that you're actually properly inhabiting the same space together. This here is a little video of me at Facebook headquarters trying out something called Facebook Spaces, which actually is now changed to something called Facebook Horizon. And the idea is that it's a VR app that allows you to meet up with your Facebook friends to chat. You can look at pictures, you can change the environment, you can collaborate on projects together, you can even type. Now, while it doesn't look super sophisticated, we sort of look like quite childish avatars. When you're in that third space, chatting to someone, in my case it was the lovely Mike, you really do get that sense of connection. You can see their hand gestures, and it genuinely does feel like they're there with you. So let's say we were in a VR world, doing something like this. I was delivering it to you in VR. Imagine if I could see all your avatar forms. I could see where you're looking. I could see if you're putting your hand up, and then on top of that, we could suddenly change the environment and we could be, on a cliffside in Hawaii, or the environment can change as I speak about different things, so much more engaging than a normal call on Zoom. And people are really developing ways to bring in the different senses, including touch. So this here is a picture of me in a VR arena over in the States. And you basically get to play this VR game in a special studio, which means that when you do things in this virtual space, like, open a spaceship door, you're blasted with some cold air. You can also see that we're wearing haptic bodysuits that actually vibrate when things touch or shoot at you in the VR world. And creating this haptic feedback is really going to allow us to transfer touch over the internet. So things that we could start to really get excited about. And then we finally have augmented reality. And this is a little video here that shows just some of the many ways we'll be interacting with displays and digital information through AR. As you can see, AR has the potential to actually do away with traditional screens and laptops, which if you think about it, can be quite intrusive. Instead, we could just project this information onto any surface in the real world and then use our voice and gestures to control it. And as sci-fi as it sounds, eventually we won't even need the AR glasses. Instead, we'll be using in-eye displays. So that will be literally contact lenses that display all this information. Now, already the likes of Google, Samsung and Sony have filed for patents protecting innovations around this. So I genuinely don't think it will be long before we start to see this stuff become a reality. Now, augmented reality, when it actually comes to our phones, currently, this is right now, is pretty good. I mean, if you think of some of the filters that you get on social media, how quickly Google Translate can sort of convert text through the camera viewfinder, that's all brilliant examples of AR in action. However, when it comes to AR glasses, despite people's very best efforts, bless them, I would say the technology isn't quite there yet. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of Magic Leap. They were a startup that raised over $1.4 billion and they wanted money to develop their AR glasses, but unfortunately they look a little bit like this. Can't quite imagine that design taking off. And it's not just their appearance. I have actually had a go using them. And while the promotional videos look very snazzy indeed, when you actually got them on, it's just not very good. So when it comes to augmented reality and glasses, there's still a long way to go. But so much innovation going on in this space, and I'm sure we'll see it come on leaps and bounds over the next 5 years. So, from AI to blockchain, VR to AR, the future consumer will engage with digital experiences that are more personalised, immersive, and will lead to a more individual relationship with brands. Now, I also just want to end with this caveat because I appreciate that some of the things that I've touched upon could make you feel a little bit like, oh my God, the robots are coming. We're going to have no autonomy over our lives. And, while I think this really is a legitimate concern and it's something that I'm sure we could debate about another time, what I will say is this. Us humans have been around for around 200,000 years. The iPhone was created in 2007. Ultimately, we are hardwired to be social creatures, to hang out with fellow people, work in tribes, socialize and create. And I think that will always trump any kind of tech interaction. Yes, we are still finding our feet with these technologies, but ultimately, I am an optimist. I think humans will remain at the centre and tech will be used as a way to empower and connect us. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the festival. And I also hope to maybe see some of you in real life because I think ultimately that human-to-human connection trumps all. Thank you.
What a fantastic presentation from Georgie there. I particularly enjoyed the self-driving car video, although I'm not sure I'm ready to give up control of the vehicle quite yet. However, I'm sure it'll be common practice in the coming years. So, what a jam-packed experience Acquia that was. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time together, but before you go, a few important points. Starting at 3:30 p.m. UK time, 4:30 p.m. Central European time, or 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, we have a LinkedIn Live panel discussion going on with our Acquia customer Andrew Miller from the University of Dundee and a couple more special guests too. To watch, head straight over to the Acquia LinkedIn channel and hit follow. You'll then get a notification when we go live in just a few minutes. You can ask questions in the chat and we'll put them straight to our guests. We'll also be posting the recording of this broadcast on our website so you can watch or share with friends and colleagues. And we have a free swag box to send out to all of you that attended. You'll get an email with a form on where you can input your shipping address and we'll send out your swag box directly to you. And don't worry, our forms are anonymized and shared only with our shipping provider and then deleted. We don't store them in our database. And a thank you to our charity sponsor and Acquia customer, WaterAid. WaterAid is a leading UK charity working tirelessly to provide millions of people around the world with clean water, decent toilets, and good hygiene. They're enabling entire communities to unlock their potential, break free from poverty, and change their lives for good. You can find out more about their great work in the sponsors zone. And in lieu of any transport costs for attending this event today, I'd like to encourage all of our experienced attendees to donate to this worthy cause using the Just Giving page. Last but not least, thank you to all of our customers, partners, and Acquians that have worked hard to bring you today's broadcast. We couldn't have done it without you. Otherwise, stay safe, take care, and we hope to see you soon.